Okay, now we got to replace this. Now there's two bolts, one in the front and one in the back, and there's a bolt over on the opposite side. Let's go in there and have a look. I just took the spare tire off. Let's go have a look and see what we got to do here. Okay, you can actually see both bolts there from in behind where the spare tire goes. So we're going to pull those two bolts out and the one in the front, and that should pop right out of there. So let's have a go at it. Okay, now to get at these bolts, I had to pull that one out of here. That holds the fuel line and everything in place, and the other one out of here. That also holds the fuel line in place. Now I can raise this up out of the way so I don't damage my pipe. Looks like I might be replacing that pipe pretty soon anyway. I'm going to spray some stuff on it, might help it now that I got it apart under here. Okay, so now we're going to take this bolt out. I hope. Things just falling apart. Alrighty. Okay, now we're going to remove this bolt. I think the nut on the back side actually has a lock of some type on it. Keep it from turning. So let's see if we can do this. Alrighty, that's better. Okay, we got all our bolts out. They all fell out pretty nicely. Wasn't too bad. So now we got to get this arm out of here. I guess I'm gonna have to raise that up somehow and just give it a little bit of a twist. And it all goes back together the same way. Okay, big chunk of aluminum, I think. I'll put the other one back in. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is make them look the same. So I'll have to spin the new one the same configuration as the old one. Put that in the vise, I guess, and we'll do that. Okay, now we're going to slide the new one up in there. Let's see if we can get it back into its rightful place where it belongs. A little tight, I guess. Put the bolts in. Okay, the bolts are all in and they're all tight. And it's not too bad of a project. It's enough. Now we're just going to tighten up this side and then we're done. Just snug it up. It should be good. Now I can put the knuckle in place and connect everything back up and we're good to go. So there, I'll show you a little more after I get a little more done. Okay, there we go. Got the pin in place here and down here as well. This went in a little hard up here, but I just tapped it into place. If I had a thought there when I had everything apart, I would drove a chisel in the back just to widen the gap on both of these, but they didn't go in there that hard. Little bit of oil. Probably wondering why I use a brass hammer. Well, a brass hammer actually doesn't leave any damage on anything. It just damages itself and you can get a good whack with them. So pick up yourself a brass hammer and you'll save a lot of threads and other parts as well. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten all this up and next we'll put the emergency brake and the backing plate, and I'll show you something about the backing plate that I had to do with this. Alright, new backing plates. So what I did, they should actually go on before this piece gets connected. But it's all connected. And the backing plates for garbage are on it. So I took and I cut across. And I'm actually going to slide that in all the way around into place. I already had it in once, but I thought I'd show you guys what I have done. Now, hopefully it'll pass the safety inspection, we'll see. There we go, it took a little bit of bending and prying, but I got it in place. And I'm going to clean it up and put a little paint on it. Won't look so bad. Okay, so because this is such a hard spot to get into, I have to get in behind there, put that little pin in the hole to hold the brake shoes in place in there. So I actually took a piece of pipe, shoved the pin in it. Now I'm going to shove that in there and slide it through the hole. And I think I'm going to put a little magnet on the end to kind of help me hold it in place. So with the magnet on the back side, it might help hold it in place as well. So I'll just pull the hose through. Everything should follow. And then we'll show you what it's like when it's out. Okay, so that pulled through really good. It's in there. Now all we got to do is get the spring on it. Okay, there we go. Shoes are all in place. Clips are on. Springs are in. So now, I'm going to throw the rotor on there. Actually, I'm going to grease that before I forget. Okay, rotor fits. Now I'm going to stick the caliper on there. And there we go. Everything's coming together like clockwork. Beautiful. Arms all in place. Everything's all connected and greased. Bolts are all up tight. Up in there. Two back there. Got two to go in there, and then the tire goes on. Alright. Well, this grease fitting's no good for this application. It's too high. So, got to get something a little shorter in there. Maybe I'll see if I can take that end off and put it in the bottom. Should be long enough. We'll see. There, all back together. Let's go test drive it.